Since Microsoft launched its flagship Xbox Series X/S consoles, it has gone above and beyond the call of duty to provide the video game community with a never-ending stream of exceptional and entertaining titles. Therefore, I've decided to take on this mission of cataloging and highlighting the best upcoming Xbox games, with some of the biggest and most intriguing AAA and indie games coming soon to Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series S. With this video, you'll be able to keep an eye on the release dates of your most anticipated titles more easily and play upcoming Xbox games as soon as they're released. Lightyear Frontier is a resource management game where players cultivate their own farm on a world at the edge of the universe. With support for up to 4 players in online co-op, players can grow alien crops, build homes, and tame wildlife on this peaceful planet. It offers a unique off-world farming experience. MLB The Show 24 is the next entry of San Diego Studios' annual video game series centered around Major League Baseball. This entry promises to be the biggest installment yet, with an expanded single-player story mode, new ways to manage your baseball team in franchise mode, additional iconic baseball superstars for you to recruit to create the ultimate baseball dream team in Diamond Fantasy, and much more. Pick up your baseball bat and begin your journey to become the next World Series champion in MLB The Show 24. Relive the greatest moments in baseball history in the story mode or compete against your friends in online multiplayer. Alone in the Dark is being reimagined as a third-person horror game for Xbox Series X/S. Set in the 1920s, players can choose to play as Emily Hartwood, a young woman searching for her missing uncle, or Edward Carnby, a detective hired by Emily to assist in the search. The game takes place in the haunted Derceto Manor, filled with death traps, monsters, and a sinister history. Dragon's Dogma 2 is the long-awaited sequel to Capcom's cult action RPG, Dragon's Dogma. Players once again take on the role of the Arisen, a mortal cursed by an ancient dragon and forced to wander the land for eternity until they defeat the dragon that ruined their life. Dragon's Dogma 2 will build upon the foundation of its predecessor with an improved combat system, a bigger fantasy world to explore, and the return of the pawn system where players can create AI-driven party members to aid them in battle. Gigantic Rampage Edition is a revitalized version of the cult classic MOBA shooter. This definitive edition includes new modes, characters, and a revamped progression system. It also removes all microtransactions, offering a fresh experience for both new and returning players. Tales of Kenzera, ZAU is a Metroidvania side-scroller developed by Surgent Studios and published by EA Originals. You play as Zhao, a young shaman on a journey to bring his father back to life by making a deal with the god of death. Now imbued with cosmic powers, Zhao must travel the land and prove his strength to 3 godlike beings to save his father while learning valuable life lessons along the way. Death Relives is a first-person survival horror game where you play as Adrian, a young man uncovering the mystery behind his mother's death. His investigation leads him to a cult that sacrificed his mother to an ancient Aztec god. Adrian must escape the wrath of Zype-Totec, the bloodthirsty god, and end Zype's reign of terror. Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2 is a sequel to Ninja Theory's award-winning action-adventure title, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. This game will once again put players into the role of Senua, a warrior who fought through the horrors of Helheim to save the soul of her deceased lover. In Hellblade 2, Senua must traverse the lands of Viking Iceland to liberate spirits enslaved by tyrants and conquer the darkness within her soul. Morbid, The Lords of Ire is a Souls-like hack-and-slash game where you play as Strider, a warrior fighting fearsome monsters called Gahars and diabolical villains known as the Lords of Ire in a twisted, broken world. Developed by Still Running and published by Merge Games, Morbid offers a challenging and immersive gameplay experience. Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree is a massive DLC expansion to Elden Ring, which is widely regarded by many to be one of the best Souls-likes ever produced by the legendary developer, From Software Incorporated. This expansion will take players on a trip to Land of Shadow to discover new uncharted locales to explore, uncover the lost history behind the enigmatic Miquella, arm themselves with new powers and weapons, and challenge intimidating new enemies and bosses. Enotria, The Last Song is a Souls-like action RPG developed and published by Jayama Games. Set in a world plagued by the Canavacho, players assume the role of the maskless one, who can move freely in this world due to being born without a predetermined destiny. The game features a unique mechanic of stealing masks from enemies to gain powers, as players work to free the world from the Canavacho and defeat the evil authors who created it. Shin Megami Tensei V. Vengeance is an enhanced, next-gen re-release of Shin Megami Tensei V, a JRPG once exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. In this game, you play as a high school student who's been teleported to a post-apocalyptic world where humanity is extinct and demons, angels, and gods rule the land. In order to survive in this mad world, you have fused with a mysterious god to become an otherworldly being known as a Nahabino. With the power to cut down the demons of hell and angels of heaven, you forge ahead to find out what brought you here and figure out how to return home.
Purchase your tracks today. MGT made it.
Destiny 2. The Final Shape is an expansion for Bungie's looter shooter, Destiny 2. This expansion features the return of Cayde 6, a conclusion to the Light and Dark Saga, new raids, dungeons, weapons, and powers for players to acquire and master. Black Myth. Wukong is a Souls-like action game developed and published by Game Science. This game is based on the classic Chinese novel, Journey to the West, and as you play as its main character, Sun Wukong, you will journey across a vast, wondrous world, battle monsters and heroes inspired by Chinese mythology, and fulfill your destiny as the Destined One. First Descendant is a multiplayer-focused, action RPG looter-shooter developed by Nexon Games Company. Limited players take on the role of Descendants, superpowered soldiers protecting humanity in the Ingress continent from monsters and invading empires. The game offers both solo and 4-player co-op gameplay. Unknown 9, Awakening is an upcoming third-persona adventure game developed by Reflector Entertainment and published by Bandai Namco. You play as Haruna, a woman born with a mysterious power that lets her travel into alternate reality known as the Fold. Yearning to discover the origins behind her powers, Haruna ventures into the Fold to look for answers. However, little does Haruna know that she is being followed by the Ascendants, a secret organization who wishes to exploit the powers of the Fold to change human history to their twisted vision. Visions of Mana is an action RPG from Square Enix, marking the return of the Mana franchise after over a decade and a half. Players control Val, a young man chosen by the fairy to journey to the Tree of Mana. Along the way, players will explore beautiful landscapes, meet unique characters, and engage in fast-paced, real-time combat. Microsoft also unveiled S.T.A.L.K.E.R 2. Heart of Chernobyl at their July showcase as a timed exclusive for Xbox Series X and PC. S.T.A.L.K.E.R is an open-world shooter with survival elements, tasking players to navigate a radiated Chernobyl filled with physics anomalies and other threats lurking in the dark. After over a decade and a half, the long-awaited sequel to the cult FPS, S.T.A.L.K.E.R, Shadow of Chernobyl is finally on its way. Explore a post-apocalyptic, radioactive wasteland to find fortune or the truth behind the dark world you now struggle to survive in. Warhammer 40,000, Space Marine 2 is the sequel to the cult action game set in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Players once again take on the role of Captain Titus, leading the Imperium Space Marines against the Tyranids. The game promises intense action and battles in the grim, dark future of the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Avowed is an upcoming first-person RPG game developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Xbox Game Studios. The game is set in the fictional world of Eora, which was introduced in Obsidian's Pillars of Eternity series. You play as an envoy sent by the Kingdom of Erdtree to investigate troubling rumors of a plague spreading throughout the living lands. Your quest will lead you on an epic adventure where you must save this strange and mystical land from destruction while fighting to keep your own soul intact at the same time. Sonic X Shadow Generations is a remastered edition of Sonic Generations, featuring modern Sonic, classic Sonic, and Shadow the Hedgehog. Players will race through iconic Sonic levels to stop Dr. Eggman from rewriting history, and then play as Shadow to stop the alien conqueror Black Doom from destroying the world. Vampire: The Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is an upcoming RPG developed by the Chinese Room and published by Paradox Interactive. This game takes place in Seattle, and the player assumes the role of a kindred, a term used to describe a common type of vampire. As a newly made child of the night, the player must learn to keep their hunger for blood in check, make sure to keep their vampiric identity secret, and defend themselves against hostile vampires, humans, and other horrifying creatures. Ark 2 is a sequel to Ark: Survival Evolved, set on an alien planet populated by dinosaurs and humans. Players must learn to survive and team up with others to take down the dinosaurs threatening their existence. Blue Protocol is a free-to-play MMORPG set in the fantasy world of Regnas. Players embark on adventures, form alliances with other players, and become part of an epic story that will determine the destiny of Regnas. Diablo 4: Vessel of Hatred is the first expansion of Blizzard Entertainment's best-selling ARPG, Diablo 4. The story will continue from where Diablo 4 left off and focus on the prime evil known as Mephisto. There will be new jungle locales to explore, new playstyles to master, and a brand new, original class never seen before in the Diablo franchise. EvilVEvil is an online co-op horde first-person shooter where players control a team of gun-toting vampires on a mission to stop the cult leader Zagreus from taking over the world by sucking the blood of evildoers. Exoborne is an upcoming extraction shooter developed and published by Sharkmob AB. In this game, the US has been transformed into an apocalyptic hellscape by natural disasters. In this violent, players must fight against the elements and rival factions to scavenge for dwindling supplies in order to survive. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is a first-person adventure game set between the events of Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade. Players control Indiana Jones as he embarks on a journey to recover a stolen historical artifact, leading to a grand adventure across the world. John Carpenter's Toxic Commando is an upcoming first-person shooter developed by Saber Interactive, published by Focus Entertainment, and directed by legendary movie director John Carpenter. This game is set in a dark future where mankind's attempts at harvesting energy from the planet's core have unintentionally released an eldritch abomination called the Sludge God upon the Earth. You play as the titular Toxic Commandos, and your mission is to nuke the Sludge God and its undead mutant armies into oblivion before they wipe out the human. Little Nightmares 3 is a horror game where players follow the adventures of two kids, Lo and Alone, as they try to escape the nightmarish realm known as the Nowhere. Players can face the horrors of this world solo or use an online co-op feature to play with a friend. Star Wars Outlaws is an open-world Star Wars game set between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Players help Kay Vess break free from her criminal lifestyle and explore iconic Star Wars planets while navigating the criminal underworld to find true freedom. The Casting of Frank Stone is a narrative adventure developed by Supermassive Games and published by Behavior Interactive Incorporated. This game is set in the same universe as the horror game Dead by Daylight and is set in the town of Cedar Hills. This town has a dark reputation as it was once home to a ruthless serial killer by the name of Frank Stone. You play as a group of young friends who are on an adventure trying to unravel the sordid history of Frank Stone's murderous career. But these folks will be in more than they bargained for, as Frank Stone's crimes have left a horrifying impact on Cedar Hills, leaving traumatic scars across entire family lines and even realms of the supernatural. 2XKO, formerly known as Project L, is a fighting game spin-off of League of Legends. It features gameplay reminiscent of team-based fighting games like Marvel vs. Capcom, with playable characters from the League of Legends universe such as Ahri, Echo, Jinx, and more. Crimson Desert is an upcoming open-world adventure game being developed by Pearl Abyss, the creators of the popular MMORPG Black Desert. You play as Macduff, a mercenary trying to eke out a living in the war-torn lands of Poel. Your struggle for survival will be arduous as you be contracted to take a myriad of ferocious beasts and take part in epic wars between powerful nations. Monster Hunter Wilds is the 7th mainline entry in Capcom's Monster Hunter series and the first exclusive to the current generation of consoles. Set primarily in a gigantic open-world desert, players will hunt new monsters and utilize mounts in their adventures. Odyssey is an upcoming MMORPG brought to you by Pixel. The once peaceful world of Cetera is in grave peril as a race of interdimensional monsters collectively known as the Void are invading the planet, killing all forms of life they see. It is up to you and your band of merry adventurers to protect Cetera from the Void by mastering the art of combat and learning to wield the mysterious Chronotector to bend time to your will. Dragon Ball: Sparking Zero is a 3D arena fighting game in the Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi sub-series. Players can choose from a variety of iconic characters like Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, Perfect Cell, Broly, and more to battle against friends and recreate memorable fights from the Dragon Ball anime and manga. After a decade since the original release of GTA 5 in 2013, the sixth major entry of Rockstar's legendary Grand Theft Auto has finally been unveiled. GTA 6 will feature the return of the iconic Vice City setting, the first playable female protagonist since the Game Boy Color version of GTA 2, the biggest open-world sandbox to date, and graphics that will push the Xbox Series X/S to their limits. Elder Scrolls 6, part of Microsoft's Xbox Game Studios after Bethesda's acquisition, is a single-player, traditional open-world RPG in the Elder Scrolls series. Details about the game are scarce, and fans may have to wait a while before more information is revealed. Hollow Knight: Silksong is a sequel to the 2D Metroidvania game with Souls-like elements, Hollow Knight. Players control Hornet, a warrior princess, as she navigates a corrupted world filled with insectoid monsters to return to her kingdom, Hallownest. Jurassic Park Survival is a first-person action-adventure based on the legendary Jurassic Park franchise. This game takes place shortly after the events of the first Jurassic Park movie and follows the adventures of an InGen scientist named Dr. Maya Joshi. She was unable to evacuate Isla Nublar along with the rest of the main cast from the original movie, so now she has to find a way to escape on her own. You will need to use cunning and ingenuity to outsmart the dinosaurs lurking on the island, as combat is not an option, especially when going up against the terrifying T-Rex. Smite 2 is a sequel to the MOBA game Smite, where players control legendary heroes, gods, and monsters in team-based battles. The game features third-person combat and characters, refined gameplay mechanics, and enhanced visuals, developed in the Unreal Engine 5. State of Decay 3 is an upcoming game that offers a cinematic trailer and little other information. Set in a wintry environment, players may need to manage their internal temperature in addition to other survival needs, as the plague appears to have spread to animals as well as humans. So, did you like the games I recommended? So leave your like, subscribe to the channel to follow me, and activate the bell because I post a lot of videos on this channel and you can't miss it. Thank you very much for following me this far, and until next time, bye.